Hello, today we're using Jamf Pro to deploy a Contactzilla address book to an iPhone. What I'm about to show you is a remarkably simple and reliable way to get shared contacts onto managed iPhones in just a few minutes. We'll start by creating a device connection from our Contactzilla address book. We'll download the resulting mobile config file and upload it directly to Jamf Pro. And finally, we'll deploy those contacts to the iPhone's native Contacts app. I'm going to assume you already have Jamf Pro set up with some iPhones enrolled. In my example, I've created a small device group with a single test iPhone, but you might be rolling this out to hundreds or even thousands of devices, and the process will be exactly the same. So over in my Contactzilla dashboard, I've opened up the address book I want to deploy, and I've clicked on Device Connections. And the first thing I'm going to do is select iOS from the drop-down here for connection type. The next step is to assign the connection to a team member. So in Contactzilla, you can assign a connection directly to any team member, and that's useful if you just want to get contacts onto that person's phone individually. They can scan a QR code and set it up themselves very easily. But for MDM rollouts, we use a special kind of user called an MDM user, which is a device-only account. So let's create one now. I'll head over to Team Members and add an MDM user, device-only access. The email address here is arbitrary, so you can put anything in there. Hit Add, and that's done. You'll see that MDM user added here under Team Members. Let's head back over to Device Connections, and I'm going to select that new MDM user that we just created. Label sync, I'm just going to leave as the default setting. And now decide on the access level for the end users. So for most managed rollouts, full read-only is a popular choice because it prevents any accidental changes to your master contact list. You can, of course, do a full read-write rollout, giving the end users the ability to edit contacts. And if you do select that, we have a handy feature just here to give them that editing capability, but still prevent them from deleting any contacts. And I do want to touch on selective read-only because it's a very useful feature. You don't have to send the entire address book to every device. Instead, you can choose one or more labels, and only the contacts with those labels are deployed to the devices. So if I just add a couple here and hit create, you can see my selective read-only rollout is here ready to go. But I'm going to go with a read-only. And finally, you want to set the number of device connections to match your rollout and then click create. So under the newly created device connection here, if I hit setup, I can download the mobile config file, which we can upload directly to Jamf. So here's my Jamf Pro dashboard, and we're going to upload that configuration file so we can deploy these contacts. So I'm going to Devices, Configuration Profiles, and then Upload in the top right. I'm going to select the mobile config file that we've just downloaded from Contactzilla and hit Upload. Once the file is uploaded, you'll be taken to the General tab for this configuration profile, and you can see that Jamf has automatically named this for us, Contactzilla card dav, and it has included the name of my address book, which is handy, and we have the username there as well. You can also add a short description here if you'd like, just for your own reference. Next, there are a few quick options worth having a look at. Category, this is purely for organization inside Jamf. It doesn't affect how the profile works, but you could create something like contacts, card dav to keep things tidy. Level, choose device level. This applies the profile to the whole device. User level would be useful for shared iPad setups, for example. And distribution method, I'm leaving as install automatically. That way users don't need to do anything on their phones. The profile will just work. So when you're happy with that, click save, and we can see a new payload is listed here. Before a configuration profile can deploy, we need to define its scope, which tells Jamf which devices will receive it. So we're going to click scope and then edit in the bottom right. Under Target Mobile Devices, choose Specific Mobile Devices. This option lets you target individual iPhones or mobile device groups, which is the most common setup for Contactzilla deployments. And now we click Add, We can now leave it on mobile devices to pick individual devices from across your organization and then click Add, or you can switch to mobile device groups to add a pre-made Jamf group that can contain multiple devices. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I have my CZ Pilot iPhone group here, which I will add. So we hit save, and now our profile is scoped. Your devices or device groups will show here under targets, which means they'll receive the Contactzilla configuration profile. I just want to touch on the exclusions tab, which can be very useful and give you some extra control over how a profile is deployed across your organization. For example, you might be targeting a large group but want to exclude certain team members, or you might want to remove contacts from a device within a group. Anything you add here in exclusions will not receive the profile, even if it is present under targets. So by default, profiles deploy to devices on the next device check-in. For testing, we'll push it right now though, by going to Devices, searching the inventory for my particular phone, and then it's the Management tab, and then Send Blank Push. This forces an immediate check-in and installs any pending configuration profiles. And we can confirm the delivery of this configuration profile in History, and then Management History, and there is confirmation of the installation. And that's all it takes to roll out a fully synchronized Contactzilla address book across your fleet. Our Contactzilla labels show up here as lists, keeping your contacts perfectly organized in the iOS Contacts app, all deployed very easily through Jamf.